And welcome, everybody. It is Friday. That's John King.
Good morning.
John's favorite day.
It is one of the best days of the week. I don't know if it's my favorite. It is game night for me, so that's a big deal.
Well, you got a football game going on, basketball game?
No, way more nerdy than that. Board games. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we won't go into that. Before I get too far into my nerdiness, though, I wanted to talk about something really manly that Peter can't say that he's into, which is guns.
Exactly right. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So apparently there's going to be a ban or an executive order to get rid of a type of ammunition that's really popular. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I wanted to talk to my friend from Selway Armory, Travis, who runs the shop down there. And anyway, apparently they were off the hook with ammunition sales yesterday. So, Travis, tell us what's going on.
One that came under that ban was M855, which is it's a 223 or a 556 cartridge loaded with a 62 grain bullet that generally has a green tip, but it has a steel core in it.
Okay.
Which it's what the U.S. military uses in almost all their 556 caliber weapons. And the steel cores is why Obama can use the executive power, and the ATF can put out, reclassify it as no longer primarily used for sporting, and therefore banned under the Gun Control Act.
Okay, now, Travis, this is Peter. Was there any particular event that, and please forgive the pun, that triggered this move to ban this ammunition?
No, not that I looked into that. If there was some sort of... One of the things that's kind of put out there is they call it cop-killing ammunition. And I looked for any sort of incidents in the recent memory where a cop was killed with this ammo, and I couldn't find one. And the really backwards thing about this is that the act was made to control ammo that would pierce a bulletproof vest at the time, which are all soft bulletproof vests. And it turns out any rifle ammo and any type of 223 ammo, it doesn't matter if it's a 62 grain with the steel core or if it's a 40 grain FMJ, will go right through any body armor, soft body armor, that is. So the reason that Congress put this in place is not to ban this type of ammunition. It was to ban other types of ammunition.
Yeah, so basically...
This type of ammunition would always pierce a soft bulletproof vest, and it's not popular with criminals.
So let me ask you this. First of all, do you have any left? And second of all, when is the deadline? When does this actually take place?
So the ban's not in place, and it won't be in place for some time if they do go forward with it. You have until middle of March there's a public comment period with the ATF. So we have until March 16th to put in comments. And you can put in comments at APA comments@atf.gov.
APA comments at atf.gov.
Yes, APA alpha comments at atf.gov.
And if you didn't catch that, Travis has a military background there. So the first part of my question, though, is there any of the ammo left, or is it like pretty much drained from supplies around the states now?
Well, it's curious that the white paper that started this whole hoopla came out over a week ago, and it seems like yesterday is when the mass media really picked it up. And when the first white paper came out, we sold all of our true M855 or SS109, which is the civilian nomenclature for the same type of ammo, and all bullets that you could use to make that ammo yourself. We sold it out that weekend, and we've been getting small amounts in since then. But all the articles that came out yesterday that I read, and I went through and read them all last night, all that I could find, they all make it sound like ATF and Obama or whoever is going to ban all 223, and that's not the case. This only applies to M855 or SS109, the 62 grain with a steel core in it.
Well,
as of right now, I haven't seen anything official from that they're trying to ban the entire caliber 223 or 556.
Now, this is Travis being a nice guy, because it's kind of counterintuitive for a guy to put the fire sale up and say that all 223s are going to be outlawed.
Yeah, it just, well, we were actually kind of low. I could have stocked up heavier, but I was like, this is going to blow over. This isn't going to be serious. And then yesterday I was proven wrong. Absolutely wrong, because we sold all the price point stuff we had off our website. And we've got lots more coming. There's no great shortage of it, and I think this will blow over in the near future.
Okay.
And I also believe that they're going to have a hard time banning it, even if they do go, and they have to do the whole comment system. And
well, now, Travis, this is Peter. I have to ask you a question. As a non-gun owner and non-gun user, I have nothing against them. I just never got into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there and do you see as an arms someone who is a retailer? I was going to say an arms dealer. No, but as a retailer, do you see an end game with this, with the ATF and with President Obama as if it's a step-by-step a camel's nose under the tent type of thing? Or is it just, well, this is just some random thing that was out there and finally came to pass?
No, I think this was planned by some of the Obama administration to, it was his threat on everything that, well, since now we don't have any control in the legislative side, I'm going to use executive actions and executive power to enact my agenda. And so this was an easy target. I think this was low-hanging fruit for them. And if they can get this through, then they'd probably try other things.
I have to ask, before we get too far, is this, before this whole white paper came out, was this ammunition a popular type, or is it one of those obscure?
I mean, well, I got to preface that with the green tip is not as popular as the 55 grain, because the 55 grain is the most popular by far because it's significantly cheaper. When you adding a steel core and the extra weight to the production process, it usually adds about 5 to 10 cents a round to the cost of that ammo. But it is a very popular ammo. I mean, even before the ban, when there's no panic or no shortage of it, we would probably sell 10 to 50,000 rounds a month of the ammo they're looking to ban. Whereas we would sell in 223, we'd sell 500,000 rounds a month.
Wow. Peter's jaw just went slack. But so Selway Armory, which is Travis Linneman's company there, they sell a lot outside of the state.
I was going to
say, they're located here in Missoula, but they sell lots of rounds of ammunition over the internet.
And I tell you what, Travis, I'm really glad you're with us, because I had heard even Rush Limbaugh, yesterday, just the other day, was talking about how so many federal and state agencies are buying up ammo just like crazy. And I would like to get your take on that when we come back. Also, we have 2 lines open. If you have a question or a comment, this guy really knows his stuff. Give us a call at 721-1290. We'll be right back. And we're back. 721-1290 is our number, and we've got Travis Linneman on the phone, Selway Armory. And so, Travis, my question was, what is the deal with all the federal agencies buying up ammunition like it's going out of style? Is that something that's new, or is that something that's been ongoing for a long time?
Well, the talk of that, and federal agencies buy lots of ammo regardless of what it is. And this was a much bigger story, I think, 2 years ago during what I call the Great Ammo Panic.
Right.
When after Sandy Hook and the threat of new legislation and a large number of states actually enacting new, much more restrictive and difficult gun legislation, that there was, some of them were a little conspiracy theory, but some of them are true, that a lot of these federal agencies have been buying ammo heavier than normal, but it's a product of the panic. Everybody buys something off the shelf in one store. You go into that store and you see there's nothing on the shelf. So you go to the next store and you see, they still got some. So you buy all of theirs, and the next guy comes in and it feeds off itself. Essentially, the shortage of supply scares people into purchasing more of it, and it feeds off itself until it runs its course and goes back to normal.
Sounds like really hard times for gun and ammo sailors.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, it's a great little short-term thing, but honestly, for us especially, not being large for the area, but not large on that, we're competing with much larger companies online, especially. It puts us at a disadvantage in my book, because when I can't get any, now that I'm sold out of all that stuff, it's much more difficult for me to refill the kitty. And if I have nothing to sell, I'm not selling anything.
Right. Now,
And I don't like the panic, the ups and downs of the industry, because what it does create is a lull on the other side of panic where everybody's stocked up, so they're not buying anything.
Travis, what really intrigues me is with the government and the sentiment the way it seems to be, that online sales of ammunition are allowed at all. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not allowed in certain states, and there's restrictions to them. But on a federal level, there's nothing on the federal level that specifically restricts online sales of guns or ammo.
Well, that might change after Wednesday, right?
What's that?
Oh, I was just joking about the new FCC regulations.
Yeah, there's always a possibility of that, and I'm sure there's scope for executive action against it, which is a real scary thing for us, and I think for everybody, and especially the people that own. Sully Armory specialty is not 223 ammo. It's carrying all these. We have over 150 calibers, and we do a lot of our businesses in obsolete and specialty calibers that you would never find at your local Walmart. You would never find at Cabela's. You would never find in these other places. And if you've got one of these old antique guns, you come to Sully Armory for it, and the only place to get it's online. So, in my book, the only thing that restricting online sales would do would be make those people so they can never get ammo for these antique firearms and other specialty items.
Oh, go ahead, Peter.
I was going to say, before we let you go, we might let folks know how to contact you if they want.
And I was going to say, we probably need to that's exactly what I was saying. We need to let him go buy some more 223 before it's eaten up by Walmart.
So how do we contact you? Where you guys are? You have a couple of walk-in locations, right?
Oh, we just have one location, one open to the public location, our retail location out on Stockyard Road in Missoula, and then we're on SullyArmory.com, which is our website.
All right.
We have a warehouse out in Lolo, but that's just for our warehousing and shipping operation.
Gotcha. Travis, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much, and have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. Take care, Peter.
Take care. All right. So let's get. But we have other folks wanting to visit here, so let's get right back to the phones and say good morning to Tyler. Tyler, you're on Talkback. Go ahead, sir.
Hi. So this whole executive action that came out yesterday, I thought was very suspect of how it came out and when. The timing to me is just crazy, like what you guys were just talking about the net neutrality rule that came out yesterday, or that they voted on yesterday, how everything is just falling into line. Let us not forget the end of last year when the federal government destroyed over 2 billion rounds of ammunition that it was unable to use for training or other reasons. It just straight up destroyed them.
Now, where did this happen, Tyler? Was it all in one location, or was it just agency-wide?
I think, I remember the story. It was over 2 billion rounds of ammunition, and it was several agencies all combined. The post office doesn't use much ammunition, but they sure buy a lot. And the Social Security offices and the IRS office.
And what about the Department of Education? I heard they bought a bunch of ammo too.
Yeah, they always buy all this ammo, and they don't do anything with it, and then they just destroy it at the end of the year. So if people want to know why the shelves on the storefronts are empty, it's because the law-abiding citizens go out and they buy up what they can get their hands on, and then the manufacturers, instead of filling the shelves, fill the government shelves.
Well, if you want to reduce the national debt, that would make a heck of a rummage sale. Just sell all that ammunition to put the money toward paying down the debt.
Real quick, just a flashback. It wasn't all just ammunition. I mean, yes, technically, but here, I'll read. This is from USA Today from the time it came out. Quote, and the article is by Tom Vandenbroek. Okay, the Pentagon plans to destroy more than $1 billion worth of ammunition, although some of those bullets and missiles could be used by troops, according to the Pentagon and congressional sources. It's impossible to know what portion of the arsenal slated for destruction, valued at $1.2 billion by the Pentagon, remains viable because the Defense Department's inventory systems couldn't share data effectively, according to the Government Accountability Office. They must be on the same server that Lois Lerner's emails are on, I guess. The result, potential waste of unknown value, and then it goes on. So there's a lot of unknowns about it, but it does include more than just bullets.
All right.
Hey, thanks for getting the facts straight on that.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, sir.
Have a good one, buddy. Let's get Susan on before we take a break. Susan, go ahead, ma'am.
Well, as a life member of the NRA and an owner of guns, I've been talking to the people on the legislative side of the NRA, and I encourage people who are not members. I mean, this sounds trite, but the name of the game is numbers, and I think those who are gun owners need to join the NRA. They've been around since 1877. There are other excellent groups that I also belong to, but in terms of power and the ability to overturn and get Congress to literally get off their butts and start fighting this president, I think NRA is our best hope. And I was wondering if you have seen on the Associated Press news or anything else what the other side is doing to combat this executive order. Have you heard anything specific?
Not yet, no. But Catherine's on the line. She's very well tuned in, and we might visit with her when we get back from the break, okay?
Okay. All right, goodbye.
Thanks, Susan. We'll take a little break. Catherine is up next. We have two lines open, 721-1290. Catherine's kind of our inside source for a lot of stuff. So we don't pay her anything, but we sure appreciate her. We're coming right back. I keep forgetting the music. Da 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 da. But he's boo boo. What do you think? How's it? No. All right, let's get Catherine on the line. Good morning, Catherine. Catherine. Hello. Stand by. Hello, Catherine. Are you there? Hello, Catherine. Yeah, you're on. Go ahead, kiddo.
Okay, what was it that Susan asked that I was supposed to be able to research?
About what anyone on the right or the conservative end is doing about all these executive orders and actions to counteract them and stop them.
Nothing, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Well, there's an open comment period, as Travis mentioned.
Wow.
You could go on and comment, and if they receive enough of them, maybe they'll think twice about it. I have a really interesting clip after the top of the hour we'll play.
Okay.
It might contradict some of the usefulness of that, but whatever.
Okay. The reason I called, I was reading something this morning, Washington Post / Weekly Standard stuff. And this is about finances with regard to our Congress. Maryland, the state of Maryland, has the most millionaires per capita. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
8% of the population are millionaires.
Wow.
Well, consider, the fact that the majority of them are federal workers.
Right.
Anyway, approximately 17,000 federal employees made over $200,000 in salary last year. That's 17,000 federal employees.
All right.
Federal employee compensation comes to a grand total of close to $1.5 trillion every 12 months.
Nice work if you can get it, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. 200 members of Congress are actually multimillionaires. And more than $5 million was spent on the hair care needs of senators over 15 years, which works out to about $440,000 per year.
How did they know that? How did they know that? You got to ask.
Track.
What do they go follow these legislators to the barber? And
because there is an on-site barber.
Yeah, there's a salon right there.
Yeah, right. And it works out to about, $4,400 per senator per year.
Right, yeah, but you got to remember, that's only right there in-house. It doesn't count any of the stuff that's like in the surrounding area.
Right,
but you get a touch-up and stuff.
That's what we pay for.
Right, yeah.
Big Brother is watching you. Get a haircut.
Okay. Yeah, and over, $4,500,900 on average is spent on personal and office expenses per U.S. Senator per year. So, in order to get their little personal space and their office space all up to speed,
right,
they spend that much per year.
Well, Catherine, I hate to do this to you, but we're up against our hard break.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Little good stuff there to help you just kind of seethe for the rest of the day.
The lives of the 1%.
Yeah. We're going to take a little break, and John has a special cut for us. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, we here at Talkback have been contacted by some local attorneys. We'll tell you why.
Uh-oh.
Dun, dun, dun. We'll tell you more about that after the top of the hour. Welcome, everybody. It's hour number 2 of Talkback, brought to you by Bitterroot Motors, doing it right for more than 42 years. The Mustard Seed Restaurant and Office Solutions and Services, where they're locally owned with solutions for every office. It's hour number 2 of Talkback, and I'm Peter Christian. That's our show producer and co-host, John King.
Good morning.
All right, let's get back to the phones, because Vern has been waiting very patiently. Vern, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Peter. I was driving down the road when I heard your jaw hit the floor there on the ammunition numbers.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people I talk to that don't shoot and stuff, that's somewhat surprising. They hear these figures about people storing thousands of rounds of ammunition. To put a little perspective on that, and this actually has application to both government purchases and personal purchases, but it's recommended if you carry a pistol that you practice every week, shoot 50 rounds. I mean, that's not everybody does that, but it's recommended, and a lot of people do.
Who recommends it? The ammo seller?
Well, no, this is trainers. To be proficient, stay proficient, keep your muscle memory. Go out and shoot a box of ammo, 50 rounds every week.
I think that's 2,400 rounds a year.
Well, and that's right, 2,400 rounds a year. And if you and your wife are both concealed carry holders and you both go out and do that, that's 5,200 rounds per year just to go out and stay proficient with your pistols. So that's, 5,200 rounds for one couple just for their pistols. That's not counting if you have an AR-15 or, So if people have the money and they want and they enjoy it as a sport, they may easily buy 10,000 rounds in a year.
Cool.
And when you look at it, that you're only shooting 50 rounds a week. That doesn't sound like a whole lot, but when it's added up over the year, it is a considerable amount. So it's not unusual for people that I know to have 10,000 rounds of ammunition in their home, and that's when you look at So when you look at the government buying billions of rounds of ammo, and I do have problems with some of these agencies that are buying the ammo. I think there is an over-militarization.
Yeah, like what does the Department of Education need with a whole bunch of advanced weaponry? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I have problems with that. But when you look at just the military and you go in, average, when I was in basic training, I shot 10,000 rounds of ammunition. You multiply that times all the guys that go through basic training.
Sure.
And then, so having billions of rounds purchased every year is not, when you actually, I was concerned about those stories that came out last year and the year before and stuff, but when you really start breaking it down, it's not that much ammunition.
Okay.
For the most part. But, lastly, if you're going to buy ammunition, if you're going to shoot at that level, you're not going to go out and buy a box of ammo or 2 boxes of ammo every week because it's expensive to buy that way. You go out and you buy 1,000 rounds from Selway or whoever's got a good deal, and there's a lot of states now that are like California are putting limits on how much you can buy every month, which is below what the average person to stay competent would shoot. So it's kind of interesting.
Well,
regulations.
I really appreciate that perspective because when you lay it out like that, it seems perfectly obvious or makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, you hear these news stories where the police went in and they found 10,000 rounds of ammunition. Well, I would venture to say that at least in western Montana, there are a lot of houses you could go into and find that much ammunition.
Sure.
And it's not unusual, but the way the media plays it up, it is.
Well, sure, because 10,000 rounds. What are they going to do? That kind of thing.
And it's got a fence around it, so it's a compound. So it's an armed compound because they have guns.
It's a chain. It's a chain link compound, but what the heck?
Yeah, even if it's just a dog fence, it's still a compound.
Exactly.
So yeah, you guys have a great day. Appreciate all the work you do.
Thanks, Vern. I appreciate that, man.
Yep. Thanks a lot.
Have a good day.
A little gun math.
There you go. That's good to know. So I seriously, that came as very helpful to me because not being a gun owner or a shooter, I was completely ignorant about that. So there you go.
Okay, so we're coming up to a break. This has
Yes.
nothing to do with anything we're going to talk about probably after the break.
Okay.
But it's a fun little thing that
All right.
everybody's doing on Facebook, so I thought I'd ask my audience
All right.
and Peter, because I showed Peter this picture of the black, blue, or white gold dress. We both see this thing very differently.
Right.
Peter's wrong.
No, you're wrong. Because it's obviously brown and white.
Okay, so basically, people that look at this particular dress
Yes.
see different colors.
Why?
It's has something to do with your eyes and your brain and the interaction with the light. It's weird.
Okay.
So, okay, here we go. I'll post it on Facebook. You can go check it out during the commercial break and type in if you see black or blue or white or gold. And if you see white and gold like Peter, you're probably wrong.
Probably. We're going to take a little break. We'll come right back. 721-1290. I think he's just trying to tell me that my eyes and my brain are old, is what I think he's trying to tell me.
I think maybe your brain, when you reach a certain age, maybe your brain tricks you into thinking white is black. So
What?
you feel like you have your old hair color back.
What? Oh, man. Oh, just coming right across there. We'll be right back. And we're back on Talkback. 721-1290 is our number, 1-800-568-5309. And let's just get right to the phone. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry.
Grab Jason, line 2.
Grab Jason, line 2. Jason on line 2. Good morning, Jason on line 2.
Good morning, guys.
What's up?
So apparently Jason can see both of what we can see.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so tell us
I've seen
what
both.
you're seeing there, Jason. When you look at the dress. By the way, it's on our Facebook page. You can just scroll down, you'll see it. What colors do you see?
At the top, there's an article that I saw at the top of the page. I saw the white and gold, and then as I scrolled down, they had a couple other pictures where it was blue and black.
So does it depend on what colors you see around the dress?
Part of it, a lot of it, there's in the article that I was reading. There's an eye doctor that was saying that it has something to do with the cones in the eyes and the color receptors that we have.
Right, and I think it also has something to do. So there's a science article from Wired on it, but the first line is just great. Because the photo is from an intern at the White House. And they say, not since Monica Lewinsky was a White House intern that has one blue dress been the source of so much consternation. And yes, it is blue. The fact that a single image could
It's
polarize
white and brown.
could polarize the entire internet in two aggressive camps is, let's just face it, just another Thursday. But for the past half day, people across social media have been arguing about whether a picture depicts a perfectly nice bodycon dress with blue and black lace fringe or a white and gold lace fringe. Now, Peter is in a third camp altogether.
It's white and brown.
He sees brown.
It's
but
white and
whatever.
brown.
There's an article, the same article I was reading. There was an eye doctor that said he saw orange and blue.
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard people that see orange in the black, kind of an orangey.
Well,
kind of
orange
black.
is the new black. So anyway.
Oh, nice reference. All right, thanks for your call.
Wow, there you go. See, we're learning new things every day. Okay, Mike, you're on Talkback. Go ahead, sir.
Well, all right, everybody's talking about ammunition, but if you want a good deal on the NRA, I can give you a real good deal on it, and I'll give you a break.
I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I recruit for them at times.
Yeah, I know, because you're a lifetime member and you've been
No,
recruiting
I'm not
for
a
how
lifetime
long?
member. No,
Oh.
at my age, it wouldn't pay to be a lifetime member.
Okay.
It's cheaper to go by the year.
Gotcha.
believe me.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that isn't what I called about, because this, I don't know, you don't stay up long enough to, it's O'Reilly or whatever, but they asked this woman up there in Boston, she said, we've asked them, is this caused by global warming? Oh, definitely. The hotter it gets, the more water is in the atmosphere and the more it snows. But I'm not so sure that's actually true, because the reason I say that is, now, as a trapper, when you go out there in this, you're doing the fall of the year, you go out there, it's 50 degrees or whatever, and you go out there and you set your traps in the water, and it's going to drop down into the low 20s or teens that night. And you set them about 2 inches under the water. The next morning you come by, them traps are high and dry, froze out like a brick. It evaporated that much water out of a pond or river. And, of course, I don't trap in the summer, so I don't know if this happens, but I'm wondering if the cold weather actually doesn't evaporate faster from warm water than the reverse. Because you hear about the lake effect snow at Buffalo. Now, of course, you don't hear about the lake effect rain at Buffalo, New York, but but I'm just wondering if that's actually true.
That's
Got to be a
couldn't
smart
tell you.
person out there somewhere.
I would say no, but
Well-
I'm sure there's another cause for it.
well. Allow me, because if you remember, we have our friend Alan, who is I believe, a master's degree. I'm going to get to that.
Who's
phone
playing
call.
the kazoo over there,
Let's
Peter?
stand by it. That's my call from the president, in case you're wondering. So I'll get to that call in a moment. But Alan, of course, calls regular caller on our show, is a master's degree in, I believe, meteorology. So
Well, I'm just wondering because I know
Alan,
if
call
it's
us.
happened, you don't want to set them. You know, if it's going to get cold at night, you better believe your traps are going to be high and dry in the morning.
All right.
It'll evaporate that much water. It doesn't make a difference if a river or pond. And you can't say it's due to whatever. It's that's in the fall when you don't have any snow or anything else. Spring is you always get the difference in fluctuation of water and spring runoff, but in the fall that's always happens that way.
Well, hey, thanks for your
So
trapping
if somebody knows the
observations.
answer, call in and let me know.
you got it, man.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for the call, 721-1290. Answering questions from every corner of the universe.
You
ladies and
never
gentlemen.
know what you're going to talk about. on
Okay,
Talk Back.
so guess what? Yesterday, we had on our radio program, we had John Kappas, who's the president of Mountain Water. We had a rather lengthy discussion, almost an hour and a half, well, full hour at least.
Full hour.
Talking about what's happening with Mountain Water, with the condemnation lawsuit, his views on what the city was doing, and how there may be a lawsuit pending.
And ninjas.
Yeah. Don't forget ninjas. Yes. Well, I got a phone call yesterday from a representative from a local law firm, one of the firms that is representing the city in their condemnation lawsuit, and a real nice lady asked me if I could please, give them a copy of the program.
We would just ask, we will give you the copy of the program, but you have to include the segment on ninjas in the trial.
It's got to be read. Got to be read into the court record. Right. But anyway, I think that's pretty interesting that they would. So in other words, somebody is listening to this program to make sure that the information gets to the right people in the right places.
I hope those same people got my invitation to the mayor to come back on Talkback.
And again, if those folks are listening this morning, if there's anybody in the city or that is close to the mayor, please relay our most cordial invitation to come into our studios or on the phone to talk about Mountain Water. We would love to have him. We'll clear our schedule, whatever. Because it's a very important issue, and he has chosen not to be on the show, whereas a lot of people are on the show, and I think it's unfair to him. People are saying all these things. We want to make that avenue open for him to respond and talk about what everybody's talking about today.
Maybe Peter can give a personal invitation today. When
I will. I will call the mayor's office and ask again. So,
okay, let's.
Anyway.
We got to, how long till the
Yeah, about
next
2
break?
minutes.
2 minutes?
2 minutes, yeah.
How long is my clip with Rachel Maddow? It's Telemundo is the name of the title.
Telemundo, it's only 32 seconds. No, wait, I take it back. Telemundo is 2 minutes and 38 seconds.
Yeah,
We can do it.
Let's wait till after.
You sure?
Yeah, because we'll
Okay.
want to talk about it immediately
Okay,
after.
all right.
So let's take this break early.
Okay, we'll come right back. More Talk Back. By the way, all three lines open. Kind of open phones from now until 10 o'clock. You got something on your mind, 721-1290 is our number. You can also make your comments on our Facebook page. We're coming right back. Yeah! Oh, if this could only be on video. Oh, my gosh. This is hurtful.
I was performing my electric slide for Peter.
It's hurtful. It is positively hurtful, folks. Okay, so we want to get this. This is President Obama, according to Rachel Maddow, or was she interviewing him?
Well, no, I'll set it up in just a second.
Okay,
real
go
quick.
ahead. Okay.
Last comment from the last segment, and then we'll
Yes.
shift to this.
Okay.
Jim says on Facebook, to add to the caller on ammo amounts, it only takes about 15 minutes to get through those 50 rounds. When I go to the range to just enjoy some shooting, I bring at least 5 times that.
Wow.
So,
Okay, good to know.
so Jim's house is a compound. With a stockpile of ammunition,
That's
most
right,
likely.
that's
All
right.
right, let's. Okay, so this clip, what you're going to hear here is MSNBC and Telemundo work together to do an interview with President Obama.
Right.
Which he never goes on MSNBC ever because he doesn't like that network. Sorry, wrong network. They pander to him, so he
Right,
likes
of
it.
course. There you
Anyway,
go.
so but one of the segments, and this is on Rachel Maddow's show, she brought it back up after the interview had aired. One of the segments involved open questions from the audience. And a young Hispanic vet, probably maybe 30s, gets up and he asks Obama a pretty emotional question. The vet had fought in Afghanistan and Iraq, had been wounded there, came home on medical leave after being shot, I believe. And his mom was in the limbo kind of maybe being deported or not.
Right.
And so he asks Obama a question. Obama comes back. But what I really want you to pay attention to is what Obama says after he talks with this vet, because it's his approach to dealing with the law after the judicial decision out of Texas that put a hold on the immigration law.
Oh, that's right. I
So
remember this.
it makes some news right after the interview. So here we go. Here's the segment.
When I was 17, I joined the U.S. Army. Actually, my mom had it signed because I was so young. My 18th birthday, I was spent in basic training. And my 21st birthday was spent in Afghanistan. And I was actually shot at on my birthday. I came back. I'm a wounded warrior. I was medically discharged from the military in 2011. And I come back home and only to find out that I'm fighting another war with my mother, trying to keep her here. So I just want to ask you, Mr. President, if there has to be some kind of gray area for a situation like this, because I put in a lot of time and I love this country, and I just feel like if it wasn't for her signing those papers, I would have never been able to join this great American Army. So I want to ask you if there's any way that situation could be handled a little better.
Well, first of all, let me just say thank you, Eric, for your incredible service to our country. I'm confident that your mother qualifies under the executive action program that I've put forward. Right now, the judge has blocked us initiating the program where she can come and sign up and get registered. But in the meantime, part of the message that I'm sending is, if you qualified for the executive action that I put forward, then we're still going to make sure that your mom is not prioritized in terms of enforcement. And she should feel confident about that. So I just want to assure her short term.
President Obama making some news tonight here on MSNBC, saying that even though a federal judge in Texas has blocked his executive action that would have protected from deportation people like this young wounded veteran's mother, even though that new program is blocked right now by that federal judge in Texas, President Obama tonight said that he has still taken action, despite that judge's ruling, basically to deprioritize deportation proceedings against people like that guy's mom. This is going to make Republicans nuts, right? I mean, this is the president effectively saying that he is making this change in U.S. immigration policy. He is making it, even though they are so mad about it in Washington. And even though that federal judge has formally blocked his actions. This is President Obama saying he's going to do it with his executive authority to decide what becomes an enforcement priority or not, regardless of the Republicans being so mad and regardless of that federal judge. Wow.
So how many times does she want to say those Republicans are mad, Republicans are mad, Republicans are mad?
Well, I think that this clip should disturb people on both sides for a number of reasons. First of all, man, doesn't your heart just go out for that vet and his mom?
Well, of course, absolutely.
And I mean, I think there should be some kind of unity in wanting to fix a system that often lets down people that don't deserve to be kept out. We need all the bright people, willing people, and people that want to commit to this country to be here. Why should we let them linger in countries that hate them? But that aside, the last part, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, it should disturb you that a president is told not only that his action is not constitutional, but then when told that, commits to it beyond the level. Now, I understand the heart behind people that want the president to do this. But at the same time, you have to realize that if you let one president get away with this, the next time the issue might not be one that you support. The next time the issue might be something you're deadly opposed to.
Do you know what I love about people, and really well-meaning people who, whether it's this or whether it's Medicaid expansion in Montana or whatever it might be, it's always preceded or the conversation always ends with this phrase. Well, you know, it's the right thing to do. You know, it's just the right thing to do, which just, according to you, it's the right thing to do, but maybe not according to everybody else, and maybe not according to the Constitution of the United States, it's not the right thing to do. So anyway, let's get Catherine on the line. Catherine, good morning. You're on Talkback. Hi.
Yeah, I was just listening to you. Isn't there? Don't can't senators carry a private bill to address this kind of thing? I mean, private bills are sent to vote all the time for various and sundry little things, you know, or individual people's needs, right? Am I wrong, or?
I'm not sure exactly what you're
What do you
referring
mean by
to.
a private bill?
Well, you know, a bill that is designed just to address one person's situation.
It's like a
like a
stopgap
waiver
measure?
or a variance,
Yeah.
sort of from the legislature.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't really do that and be fair. You know, this guy's not alone, right? I mean,
I know, but it doesn't. I mean, in that case, it's what, shared misery or something. But if you can, if somebody, or if this individual, this soldier, can apply to his senator from his state, wherever it is that he calls home, to give a variance for his mother, that is a possibility, is it not?
I believe it is a possibility, but I'm not 100%
But why-
sure on.
but-
That's private bills or something I haven't really
But
looked
why
into
would
that
you
much.
want to do that when you can simply have the President of the United States snap his fingers, quite literally, and say, "Boop, you know, we don't really care what this judge has done. We don't really care what the law says. We don't really care. This is what I'm going to do, and so that's how it's simply going to be."
So I actually looked it up on Wikipedia.
Okay.
So this is what they say. And I don't know, you know, this is public editing, but it's usually okay.
Yeah.
All right. In the United States, private bills were common between 1817 and 1971. Now, federal agencies are able to deal with most of the issues that were previously dealt with under private bills, as these agencies have been granted sufficient discretion by the United States Congress to deal with exceptions to the general legislative scheme of various laws. The kinds of private bills that are still introduced include grants of citizenship to individuals who are otherwise ineligible for normal visa processing, alleviation of tax liabilities. I need a private bill, please. And armed services, decorations, and veterans benefits. And it goes on. But
Yeah.
there's a
see?
quick description.
I mean, it could be done very easily that way. So,
And so I wonder why the President didn't recommend that,
yeah, so do I.
Well,
being the
I think,
constitutional scholar that he is.
well, you got to see what the president's doing here. Is he's saying that the agency has the authority, has the powers from Congress to do what I told them to do. So just let them do it and stop being jerks about it. I mean, basically, that's his position.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that I think that everyone should also consider, because the president's recommendation here is dangerous, because
Yeah, it is.
there are people out there that really have the issue, like this poor vet's mom, right? And could be deported if captured. Now, are you going to trust that the president is right on this and come forward like he recommends you to do? Or are you going to stay back? And what's the outcome if you get to that official and the official says, well, the courts and Congress say this and the president says this, I guess I'll side with 2 against 1, you're going to get deported. Or, you know, that's the worst case scenario, right? But I guess it happened just a week or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to ask yourself, why is the president telling people to come forward when it could end up hurting the people he says he's trying to help? Unless it's just for show and he wants to make a political message out of it, which seems likely to me.
Which to me,
Well-
and Catherine, we're up against a break, so you want to hang on?
Sure.
Okay, well, but here's my thought. I'm thinking that from November 3rd, 2014, until January 1st, 2016, could be one of the most dangerous periods in American history. Because when you think about what the president could do in that period and what he's already done with immigration, who knows what it could be with whatever. You pick a topic, pick a subject. There's nothing keeping him from doing these things, especially since he's met no resistance from the other side, with the exception of a very brave judge in Texas.
There's an executive order to put real meat in Hot Pockets. Bulletin.
We're going to be right back. All right, we're back on Talkback, 721-1290, 1-800-568-5309. Now we'll finish up with Catherine. Catherine, go ahead. I'm sorry I had to cut you off. Go ahead. Whoop, hold on. Go ahead, please. Yeah.
I was just thinking about this, and it just seems to me that Obama is suborning Congress's role completely now. And by the way, you agree with Ted Cruz on what he said, because he said the same thing about the next 2 years are going to be extremely dangerous. The executive, is, as I understand it, outside of the commutation of prison sentences, is supposed to carry out the legislation that is passed by Congress. And, you know, the president can try to get his legislation passed, but once it is passed or not passed by Congress, he is supposed to be carrying out the dictates of Congress, which represents the people. You know, am I wrong on that?
Well, if unless I miss my guess, the word executive comes from the root execute.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
you are given these pieces of legislation to execute, to sign into law so that they can become the law of the land. That is your job as President of the United States, is to execute the will of the people, which is enacted by the Congress of the United States. And then to decide if that particular law is constitutional, we have this little thing called the U.S. Supreme Court that helps to decide if the bill either is or isn't constitutional. So hopefully that's called, you know, the whole balance of powers thing.
Well, and the other thing that really throws a wrench into the whole system and isn't really mentioned in the Constitution are all the federal agencies that Congress has given up a lot of its power
to, right?
Yeah. So you have, by praxis, these agencies like the DEA or the FEC or the FCC or whatever the alphabet soup you want to use, using authorities that Congress gave up to them, and now you have a president that wants to, you know, kind of put his finger on what they're doing and make them do what he wants them to do. So I think it should be no surprise to Congress that they let things get out of hand by giving up too much of their authority.
All right. Catherine, anything else before we let you go? You there, Catherine?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for the call. And Mike has been waiting. Mike, you're up next. Good morning. Welcome to Talkback.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
There needs to be a caveat with what all these statements are. You know that all the questions, before any question is posed to the president, they're screened ahead of time to make sure that it fits the narrative of the day.
Okay.
And this president, I wonder how Rachel Maddow would feel if President Bush had come out and just said that he was just going to disregard whatever the judges said concerning gay marriage or abortion, and he was just going to unilaterally just declare such and such illegal, you know. Mm-hmm. And Rachel Maddow and all the other leftists seem to, I call them communists. Their motto was the ends justify the means, and I wish he would be just more consistent. I wish the mainstream media would be more consistent when it comes to, more objective when it comes to all this. But
yeah, because after all, Mike, it is the right thing to do.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what would have happened, or what her response would have been if Mr. Obama said, well, that your mother, I'm sorry, broke the law when she came and she needs to rectify the situation the best way that she can. Maybe she should immediately apply for citizenship and get in line like everyone else was supposed to do. This soldier, I know it wasn't any of his fault, but he has no obligation to save illegal immigrants from themselves.
He has a familial obligation, doesn't he? That's the thing that's really hard for me to buy into. I mean, if you put yourself in the shoes of this guy, I mean, who wouldn't fight for their mom? I mean, he has a familial obligation to try to make sure his mom's safe, that she can grow up in the home that she raised him in, that she can be there and he can be there to help her.
I think Catherine gave the perfect vehicle for that, for this private bill business, or applying for some sort of a waiver or whatever. I think those avenues are open.
Well, and there's a lot of people out there that say, "Oh, Congress is doing amnesty again, selective amnesty."
soldier, I know he's protecting his mom, but the narrative that the president and his staff put out was that it was a plot. He was projecting that on all illegal immigrants that came into this country. That we need to now protect all illegal immigrants that came into this country. They broke the law when they came into this. So.
Yeah. All right,
Thank
Mike.
you very much.
Thanks for the call, buddy. Appreciate it. It says 721-1290. You got to admit, though, the guy. Why go to a legislator or a congressman or a senator where you can go right to the president? You know what I mean? So,
smart move.
Anyway, we're going to take a break. We have Kathy and Candy, and one line open for you if you want to make a comment. 721-1290. You can also make your comments on our Facebook page, and we'll be right back. It's Talk Back, and it's Friday. That's John King. I'm Peter Christian, and I understand you're pointing down at the computer screen. That means we have a Facebook comment.
So on top of Hot Pockets, Cheetos, bullets, deportation, immigration,
Okay. All right.
Daryl wants to throw a new topic into the mix, which I don't know if we'll have time to get into, but he wants to know, what do you guys think of the bill to allow Hellgate to get a high school, which we do not need in Missoula?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I produce a show called Missoula Real Estate Today with my friend Diane Beck, who happens to be one of the board members at Hellgate Elementary. And she spent about 5 minutes. If you want to listen to Missoula Real Estate Today, either Saturday or Sunday, it's 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, 8 o'clock on Sunday morning. It's a half-an-hour show. The first few minutes, we talk about that and the fact that the people there, it's the fastest-growing area in Missoula. They're building dozens and dozens and dozens of homes that are selling, and people are moving in there like crazy, and they want to expand and have their own high school. So
there's a lot of
I know
tough issues, right? Because one of the issues that comes up is cost.
Right.
Because you know how much that levy is going to be for. I mean, it's going to be expensive for all the schools that we have now. So if you're going to expand and make a high school out of another school, that's going to cost some money, and you have to ask, is it worth the cost? On the same hand, I'm one of these guys that's very much open to competition, and I definitely see this as a sort of competition, and you can hear it when we were talking to Alex Apostle the other week, right?
Exactly, yeah.
There's, and I'm just paraphrasing here, and I'm probably doing a horrible job. So Alex, next time we talk, maybe you can correct me. But you know, my understanding of the issue is the school system that we have now in Missoula is really upset that they're going to lose students to a potential new high school because money will follow those students.
That's right.
That
the money
public high
follows
school.
the student. Exactly.
And the current schools won't be able to maybe do all the things that they want to do with the money that they had before. But my point to Alex was, hey, if your programs and things are so great, then people won't want to leave them. Why not give people the choice on whether or not your programs are great and let them vote with their feet?
And see, the point that Diane brought up was the fact that the people in the Hellgate Elementary District love their district. I mean, they love their school. They love their teachers. I mean, they invest a lot. I mean, it has been, adopted by that whole neighborhood. That's their school. And they want to have their high school as well. So you can understand that. You can understand both ways. So
plus, I mean, if you're a kid, I mean, don't you want to tell when you're going to school, just like, yep, I'm going to the gates of hell. It's just another day.
Well, let's get Kathy on the line first. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, gentlemen. Hey, just a couple of quick comments, and I'm sure they're probably going to be a little over the top, but one is, with Obama's actions, his executive actions, I guess at what point is that not considered a dictator? And my second point is, I don't think that he wants to call them terrorists because by him releasing the terrorists from Gitmo, who are now back, trying to kill Americans again, or anybody in infidel, wouldn't that be considered treason then? Because basically by him releasing them, it's aiding and abetting. And last thing is that for Hellgate, I'd be curious if they are going to do the high school, like how Sentinel currently is technology, Big Skies, Health Sciences. I'd be curious what Hellgate would be doing. Thanks, and have an awesome Friday.
Maybe just doing good education, good basic education. I don't know. What do you think? Kind of a novel concept.
Hey, I'm all for that. And maybe teaching how great this country is.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. Thanks, Kathy.
Have a happy Friday.
Appreciate the call. And let's get Candy on the line. Good morning, Candy. Go up.
Hi, good morning. I have to agree with the remark about Hellgate. Maybe they just want to do a basic education. But wasn't Obama's aunt didn't she live in this country illegally? And whatever happened to that? if any of you know. She was here illegally all those years, so did he help her? And I'll get off the line just to hear the discussion.
I have no idea, but thanks for the call.
What was the question? I was on the phone.
Her question was President Obama's aunt evidently lived here in this country illegally and was wondering if anything was ever done about that. I personally have not heard of that, so if I'm not up to speed on that, I apologize. Anyway, so let's get Sean on the line. Good morning, Sean. Thanks for holding. You're on Talkback. Go ahead, sir.
I just want to talk about the Hellgate High School thing.
Surely,
and
go
say,
ahead.
why not just improve the schools that we have, especially when I know that the elementary schools we have are falling apart, and why don't we take care of what we have first before we do anything new and put that money in the right spot versus making something else new and leaving everything else just kind of falling apart.
Well, you bring up a really good point because we already have a Hellgate High School, okay? So if we have a Hellgate Elementary and they make a high school, is it going to be Hellgate Part 2 or what?
I hope it's Hellgatier.
Hellgatier?
Hellgatier.
I forget. I'm not trying to make light of the deal, but we already have a Hellgate High School, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. Do you favor, Sean? Do you favor the bond issue that's coming up in the fall? Or if you remember when Dr. Apostle was with us, he said if you take the elementary and the high school districts and put them together, it's going to be over about $150 million for us to rebuild all those schools, and they want to do that whole bond issue all at once. Is that something that you would vote for?
Well, I'd actually vote for something like that to improve the schools. That's something that's needed to be done for a long time. I'm still not a fan of the recent bond issue we made to spend, $45 million to improve our parks and trails, and we already have parks and trails, and our schools are falling apart. So, why not use some of that money first to improve the schools? That's already been a serious issue for a long time versus improving trails that we already have and parks that we typically already have.
All right. Well, Sean, thanks for the call, man.
Thank you so much.
We have a great day and have a great weekend. We're going to come right back. We have Pete and go.
Oh, real quick. Do you know what the projected attendance of a new high school would be?
I don't know. I let's put it this way. They wouldn't build it if there weren't the students there to go there. So
they wouldn't do fields of...
Yeah, if you build it, they will come. Hey, there's a great theme for a bond issue. If you build it, they will come.
I don't know why don't we build more prisons?
Isn't that copyrighted? That's what's happening now, John. If you build it, they will come. Anyway, we're coming right back after this 1 minute timeout. Pete will get you on, and we have 2 lines open. Back in a moment. We're back on Talkback. 721-1290 is our number. Let's get back to the phone and not make Pete wait a minute longer. Good morning, Pete. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I just wanted to make a comment on the district thing for the school.
Go right ahead, sir.
My understanding reading the paper as the bill is currently written, it would only authorize those in the Hellgate district to vote. In the interest of democracy and the local taxpayers, I think everybody in both districts ought to have an opportunity to vote because it impacts us all and our students.
Well, someone correct me if I'm wrong here, and I am often wrong. What I believe Diane was trying to tell me was that the people in that district are willing to pay for the cost of that high school in that district rather than making everybody else in Missoula pay for it.
Well, it's not like they're going to say, well, you can't issue bond issues, you can't do this, you can't do that. Eventually everybody's going to have to pay, and we pay through property taxes.
Okay.
Well, those in the rest of the district would still be required in the future to pick up the costs that they were supporting in the existing system. So it does impact us all.
All right, Pete. I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. And we are working on getting someone from the board at Hellgate Elementary on Talkback so we can talk about all this and get all the facts so you don't have to depend on me.
I certainly don't have all the facts on this one, but here's two of the things I'm really crunching my brain over. If you have a second system, aren't you going to have a second bureaucracy?
Well, we already
you got to pay for all that.
John, we already have multiple school districts right here in Missoula. We have Target Range, we have Bonner, we have, of course, the school district 1 is by far the largest with all, the elementary and the middle schools and the 3 high schools. But there are already districts that, are not necessarily affiliated with school district 1. So anyway. Let's get Roger on the line. Good morning, Roger. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if I have a kid who wants to go to school somewhere in the community in School District 1, it doesn't matter where I live.
This is true.
I can, the parents can choose where they want to send the kid.
They do have, it's called open enrollment, and that is the policy. Yes, sir.
So it seems to me like if we're all paying for it, that would seem to be fair. That's just my deal.
Okay. Well, thanks, Roger.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call, sir. And Russ, you're on Talk Back. Good morning, sir.
How you doing, guys?
Excellent. What's on your mind?
Well, capitalism works, and if people had vouchers, instead of the government taking our money away and telling us that we can go to this school, if the parents had vouchers, school vouchers, to where they could take their money and hand it to whatever school they wanted to go to, then a group of teachers or a small business or an investor could build a school, and if they teach and they do a superior education job, then their business would flourish and the education would be great. And the teachers would be able to operate as subcontractors under the school, and the parents could, like you said, vote with their feet.
Well, Russ, I can already hear...
a standard form of education, then their business would fail, and hence, like I said, capitalism works, man.
I can already hear the howls of protest coming from Eric Fever and the folks at the teachers union. So.
I absolutely agree with this caller.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, Russ. Appreciate your call. All right, let's get Peter on the line. Peter, good morning. You're on with Peter and John.
Hi, Peter. Hi, John. Hey, you guys, the last thing Missoula needs is another high school. We have three of the smallest AA schools and all of, those states. You see that directly affected, by the fact that we get just pounded and all of the athletics at the kids' level and everything else. And now we want to add another high school. The Hellgate Elementary District was created as a feeder for Big Sky High School. You've already taken away the Lolo kids that were going into Big Sky High, and they're going to Sentinel now. To keep the attendance numbers somewhat even. The district keeps districting the lines. I mean, it's clear out almost to Reserve Street now where Hellgate's trying to draw kids, because you've got kids out in Clinton and everything else that, declining populations of kids coming from the Clinton area and everything else into Hellgate. We have three buildings that work. They're functional. We've dumped a bunch of money into Hellgate. Hellgate High School can't close down. It's a historical building, so they're going to keep it functioning in one aspect or another. And we're just creating another money pit and another bureaucracy to fund out the Hellgate district to appease certain people. I think that's a horrible idea, and I certainly hope that people stand up and just enough is enough. You can't keep, feeding the pig.
Okay, Peter, thanks. Appreciate the call. Thank you very much. Wow, interesting conversation.
Yeah, that's a
people are passionate about this. I mean, it's if you talk to the folks who live out in the Hellgate Elementary District, they love their school, and so that passion and that love, you can understand when it takes that leap of faith to say, if our elementary school is that good, just imagine how good our high school would be.
And you got to ask yourself, I heard no shortage of complaints last year from both teachers, people in the teachers' unions, and the public about what the school system was spending money on and thinking it was too much. It's kind of hard to say that and not say, hey, maybe there's an opportunity here to do things better and more efficiently. I don't know. It's a complicated issue. So anyway, next week we'll be talking about the new FCC regulations on the internet that came across on Wednesday.
You betcha.
We'll also speak briefly with the people from Adult Aging Services.
Yeah, Missoula Aging Services.
Missoula Aging Services.
Meals on Wheels, and the March is their big month for fundraising. So they're going to have what's called I believe it's the March for Meals, and so we're going to have the mayor and several city council people and other luminaries who are going to be delivering meals for Meals on Wheels. Mayor Merringen's done it for many years, and he gets a big kick out of it. All the people that get their meals hope the mayor will come and all that. So anyway, it's a very good deal, and we're going to have Bernie O'Connor, one of my favorite people, an actor, by the way, who was in a Steven Seagal movie.
Wow.
Who played a doctor.
And we'll see if he can still throw a punch.
Well, no. He was a healer in this movie.
Well,
yeah.
But
Steven Seagal,
unfortunately,
you got to learn something.
But
right?
unfortunately, he got killed in the movie.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give it away.
Should have learned to throw a punch before he got killed.
It was called The Patriot.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it was called.
Missoula Aging Services.
You guys have a great weekend, and we will see you.